Welcome to the Whiskers Sanctuary. Wherever you are, let your body settle a little more completely into wherever it's resting. Let your breath come and go at whatever pace it finds on its own. And as you do, just notice how the edges of things soften slightly when you stop looking at them directly. How the room around you becomes a little less defined, a little less demanding, a little more simply there. That softening is enough. That is all that is asked of you tonight. Tonight, we are going somewhere where everything is already soft, where the world has been gently simplified, not taken away, just made quieter, just made closer, just made easier to be inside of. A fog has settled over everything. Not mysterious, not uncertain in any troubling way. Simply soft, complete. The kind of fog that asks nothing and threatens nothing and simply exists, wrapping everything in the same quiet, unhurried grey. And somewhere inside it, a cat is moving, slowly, without destination, without any reason to hurry. And the fog softens everything. The fog has already settled. Not arriving, already there. As though it has always been there, or has been there long enough that the question of when it arrived no longer matters, and has been quietly set aside, along with all the other questions that the fog makes feel less necessary. It did not roll in with drama or with any sense of event. It simply accumulated gradually until the world reached its current state, which is this: soft, quiet, reduced to what is close and what is here and what does not require any looking into the distance to receive. The shapes of things still exist. They have not disappeared, only softened. A tree at some distance is still a tree, still upright, still occupying its place. But its edges have become suggestions rather than definitions. Its color has been absorbed into the same quiet gray that fills everything. Its distance is less certain than it was before, and less important than it was before. The fog has not removed the world. It has simplified it, taken everything that was far away and complicated, and made it the same as everything that is close and simple, present but softly present, there and not demanding. The sounds of the world have changed too, not silenced, simply softened, the way sounds soften when they travel through something thicker than air. They arrive muffled, rounded at their edges, stripped of whatever sharpness they might have carried in clearer air. A sound from somewhere nearby arrives as a suggestion of itself. A sound from further away arrives as barely a sound at all, as the memory of a sound or the idea of one, dissolving before it can be properly registered. The fog has done this. The fog does this to everything, gently, without effort, without asking whether the things it softens mind being softened. And the fog softens everything. The air itself feels different, cooler at the skin, slightly damp, carrying the particular smell of fog, which is the smell of water that is neither rain nor mist, but something between them, clean and faintly mineral and completely without urgency. It presses softly from all directions at once, not unpleasantly, simply presently. There is more of the world in contact with the body in fog than in clear air. More of the world close, more of the world simply there, surrounding, holding in its quiet and unhurried way, asking nothing except to be received. And the cool settles gently in. This is a simplified world. A world where the distance has been removed, where everything that was far away and complicated has become simply close and soft and enough. The cat moves through the fog the way the fog itself moves, which is to say, barely, or so slowly that barely and not at all have become indistinguishable. Its paws meet the ground without sound. The fog has absorbed even the soft sound of paws on earth, taken it into its grey, and returned nothing. Each step places itself without urgency, without any sense that the next step is required before this one has been fully completed. The cat is not going anywhere in particular. It is simply continuing, because continuing is what bodies do when there is no particular reason to stop, and because stopping, when it comes, will feel no different than continuing has felt, which is soft and slow and completely without consequence. There is no distance here to navigate. All the distance that exists is too soft to feel like distance. The cat cannot see far. The fog sees to that. But seeing far has ceased to feel like a thing that matters. What is close is clear enough, or clear enough for what is needed here, which is very little. The ground beneath its paws, the air around it, the soft grey presence of the fog in every direction, equal in every direction, offering nothing to follow and nothing to avoid and nothing to move toward or away from. Simply surrounding, simply here. The cat slows slightly, not because anything has changed, simply because the pace that made sense a moment ago makes slightly less sense now, and a slower pace makes slightly more. This is the fog's particular effect on movement, not stopping it, simply making the reasons for speed feel less convincing, one by one, until the pace finds its own natural level, which is lower than it was and will be lower still. The cat follows this without resistance. It has no investment in any particular speed. It simply moves at whatever pace the fog suggests, and the fog suggests slow, and slow is what the cat becomes. And the fog softens everything. Somewhere ahead, or in the direction that ahead has come to mean in a world where direction is less certain than usual, there is a shape, not clearly defined, not inviting or uninviting, simply present in the way that shapes in fog are present, suggested rather than stated, offered rather than imposed. The cat moves toward it without deciding to, simply continues in that direction because it is as good a direction as any, and because the fog does not distinguish between directions, which makes them all equally available and equally without urgency. The shape resolves eventually into a low form on the ground, a rise in the earth, or a stone, or simply a place where the ground has decided to be slightly different than it is elsewhere. The cat approaches it slowly, stops beside it, stands for a moment in the fog, neither moving nor yet fully still, in the space between the two that has been growing more comfortable with every step, and the cool settles gently in. The cat lowers itself slowly, not because this place is different from any other place. That is the particular quality of fog. It removes the difference between places. What would, in clear air, seem like a better place or a worse place to rest, has been absorbed into the same soft grey that has absorbed everything else. The ground here is the same ground as everywhere else in the fog. Equally soft, equally quiet, equally asking nothing. And so the cat lowers itself here, not by choosing here over somewhere else, but simply because here is where the moving has stopped, and stopping has become indistinguishable from resting, and resting has become the only thing that makes sense. The body settles in stages. The front legs first, folding beneath the chest, then the weight shifting as the body follows, slowly, completely, given entirely to the ground without reservation. Then the head eventually lowering to rest on the folded paws, each stage releasing something, each stage making the next stage feel not like a continuation, but like a completion. And then all the stages are done, and there is nothing left to lower, and the cat is simply on the ground, in the fog, and the ground holds it the way the fog holds everything. Gently, without comment, without any suggestion that things might be otherwise. And the fog softens everything. The air around the cat has not changed. The fog is exactly as it was, as complete, as unhurried, as indifferent to the distinction between one place and another. But something has shifted in the way it feels to be inside it. Now that the body is still, the fog seems closer, more present, as though it has been waiting patiently for the movement to cease so that it could settle more completely around what it was always going to surround. The cat is wrapped in it now, not uncomfortably, the way a blanket wraps, the way still air wraps, the way the particular quality of a quiet moment wraps around the thing that is inside it and holds it without any need to tighten. There is nothing to look at, or rather, there is only the fog to look at, which is the same thing in every direction, which means there is nothing in particular to look at, which means the eyes have no task. No task means no reason to remain fully open. No reason to remain fully open means the eyes begin gradually to rest. Not closing, not yet, but resting at the angle of things that are no longer looking, simply receiving whatever the fog offers, which is very little, which is exactly the right amount. And the fog softens everything. The cat breathes. The fog receives the breath and gives nothing particular back. The cat breathes again. The fog continues to be exactly what it is, which is soft and present and entirely without demands. The exchange continues in this way. Breath and fog, fog and breath. The simplest possible arrangement between a living thing and the world it is inside of. And the cool settles gently in. The fog does not change. This is its most important quality. It does not thicken or thin. It does not shift or move. It does not respond to anything the cat does or does not do. It simply remains, exactly as it was when the cat entered it, exactly as it will be when the cat is no longer aware of it. This constancy is not indifference, or it is indifference, but the kind that feels like safety, the safety of a thing that will continue regardless, that does not need anything from you in order to persist, that will be here when you return to awareness and will still be here long after that. The fog is a reliable thing. The fog can be trusted to remain. The cat's body has grown heavier, not uncomfortably, the opposite of uncomfortably. The weight that was already given to the ground has been accepted more completely, the body sinking fractionally with each exhale, each breath releasing something downward toward the ground, toward the gravity that has been patient and reliable beneath everything all along. The cat is not resisting this. It has not been resisting anything for some time now. There is nothing to resist in the fog. There is only receiving, and the receiving becomes easier with every breath, and the fog softens everything. The thinking, if there was thinking, has grown less certain. Thoughts that arrived with edges have had their edges softened. the way the fog has softened the edges of everything else, a thought begins and continues for a moment, and then fades before it has fully formed, absorbed back into the grey the way sounds are absorbed, the way shapes are absorbed, the way everything that enters the fog eventually becomes part of it. This is not loss. This is the fog doing what fog does, simplifying, softening, reducing everything to its quietest possible version of itself. The boundary between the cat and the fog is becoming less clear. This is what happens when a body has been still long enough inside something soft enough. The edge where the body ends and the surrounding begins becomes negotiable. The warmth of the cat and the cool of the fog find some middle temperature that belongs to neither of them separately. The breath of the cat and the air of the fog exchange themselves so gradually and so completely that the breath seems less like something the cat is doing and more like something the fog and the cat are doing together, quietly, without needing to discuss it. And the fog softens everything, and the cool settles gently in. There is less and less that requires any response, less and less that presents itself as something to engage with, to follow, to decide about. The fog has taken care of that. The fog has taken the world and made it into one soft, undifferentiated, completely manageable thing. And the cat rests inside that thing, and the thing holds the cat, and neither of them is separate from the other in any way that matters. The cat is very still, stiller than the fog, which at least moves in ways too slow to see. The cat has gone below movement entirely, into the register where the body simply continues its necessary functions. The breath and the beat and the warmth and everything else has been released into the fog, which receives it the way it receives everything, quietly, completely, without distinction between what it is given and what it has always held. The cat's stillness and the fog's stillness have become the same stillness. The cat's quiet and the fog's quiet have become the same quiet. There is no longer a clear sense of where one ends and the other begins. And this is fine. This is more than fine. This is the thing the fog was always offering from the first moment the cat entered it. This dissolution of distinction, this simplification of everything into one soft and undifferentiated rest. The fog is not mysterious. It never was. It was simply patient, waiting for the movement to stop and the thinking to slow and the body to give itself to the ground so that it could do what it does, which is hold and soften and make everything that is inside it part of the same quiet, indefinite, completely unhurried whole. And the fog softens everything. The breath rises and falls, and the fog receives it, and the pause between breaths is long, and the fog fills the pause, and the fog softens everything, and the cat is here, inside the soft, inside the quiet, inside the grey, and nothing needs to be clear, and nothing needs to be sharp, and the fog softens everything, and everything, and the cool settles gently in, is soft, and still, and enough, and somewhere nearby, perhaps inside your own quiet, the same softening is here, the edges of things becoming less important, the cool settling gently in, the distance becoming less certain, the thoughts arriving and fading, and arriving and fading, until fading is all that remains. The fog softens everything, and you are already inside it, already soft, already still, already resting all the way down.